everyone, it's good to see you here once again on Dee's Delights. Tonight I'm going to make a green bean casserole. It's going to be a little bit different than the usual with the cream of mushroom soup. I don't like mushrooms. So this one has tomatoes and mozzarella cheese. Kind of mixes it up a bit. We're also going to be making some hamburger steaks with onions and gravy, and then just some sour cream mashed potatoes. So tonight I am going to do the green bean casserole as a separate episode, and I will be doing the hamburger steak with onions and the mashed potatoes as another episode. So we'll get started on the green bean casserole. And for this recipe, just so you know what you're going to need, and I'll put it on the screen, 1 large bag of whole green beans. That would be 22 to 24 ounce. 2 plum tomatoes diced. I usually get 3 or 4. I like the tomatoes. 8 ounces of shredded mozzarella. Now in this recipe it's saying fresh if possible. 2 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 cup finely diced onions, 3 tablespoons of flour, 1 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon pepper, 1/2 cup of heavy cream, 1/2 cup of sour cream, and 1 cup of buttered breadcrumbs, or you can use the French fried onions. Normally I go with French's, but I just got the generic brand. It was a lot cheaper and you got a lot more. Hopefully I won't regret that. So we will heat the oven at 375. I couldn't find a 22 or a 24 ounce bag of green beans, so I got 2 16 ounce bags. So I'm going to use 1.5 bags. That way I'll have 24 ounces here. Let's just see. And we are going to cook these green beans in just a small amount of water. It says here just about tender. Because remember, we're going to be baking these in the oven. So let's throw this in here. And we'll just put that on high, and I'm going to cover it up and cook it for a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to butter the pan. Get that ready. And it calls for 11 by 7, but I always use the 9 by 13. I'm going to cut up 3. I got 3 plum tomatoes just because I like tomatoes in food. So it's calling for 8 ounces. So that's perfect shredded mozzarella cheese. Make sure I got mozzarella, not done Swiss. Yep, mozzarella. I like to say that. Mozzarella. Makes a whole big cup, that's for sure. I'm going to finish up my tomatoes, because when we cook the green beans, we're going to drain them and arrange them in the dish. This takes hardly any time at all to prepare. Then we're going to put the diced tomatoes, sprinkle it with diced tomatoes, and shredded cheese. Then we're just going to set it aside. And then we'll move on and I'll show you what comes up next. Today is October 29th, 2020. And it is one ugly day. I think we've gotten as much rain today as we have all this past summer. We got it all in one day. Not that I'm complaining, even though I could. Okay, so I'm ready for the first phase. I got my cheese, I got my tomatoes, I got my green beans cooking. Let's just see here. Stir that a little bit. And I'm just going to cook this now that it's come to a boil. I'm just going to cook this maybe for 5 more minutes. Now this says whole green beans. It said whole green beans. I got cut green beans. To me, green beans are green beans. If you want to do whole green beans, go right ahead. But mine were cut. Does anyone know why you should use whole green beans versus cut green beans? That's pretty good by itself. Okay, I'm going to drain it. That might have been 5 minutes. Not very long. You can test it and see what you think. So we have about 24 ounces of green beans, which is 1.5 pounds. Put them in the pan. I'm going to spread them out. Well, I shouldn't do that with my fingers, especially since it just came off the stovetop. Spread them out evenly in the pan. Now I'm going to sprinkle my tomatoes. And these are diced tomatoes. I'm going to put the mozzarella in. And evenly space that. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Now we're going to get started. In medium saucepan over medium-low heat, melt butter. Let's get that started. 2 tablespoons of butter. Melt butter, add onions and saute until tender. I got my onions. I'm going to melt the butter first. And then after that, I'm going to need 3 tablespoons of flour. Let's see. Stir in flour until well blended. 3 tablespoons is just about 1/4 cup. And we're going to need salt, pepper, cream, and sour cream. So I better get those ready. We're going to need 1/2 cup of heavy cream and 1/2 cup of sour cream. 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and 1 teaspoon salt. And I crunch this up just a little bit more than what they call for, because it says crumbled French fried onions. These are not really crumbled. I don't even know how to explain it. Okay, time for me to add the flour, which is 3 tablespoons. And make sure that I get this mixed around good. Just turns into like little balls of flour with onions in it. So I got that done. So next, we are going to put in the salt, pepper, cream, and sour cream. We got the salt and pepper here. Put that in there. We're going to put the cream and sour cream in here. It's 1/2 cup of each. And once we get this mixture heated through, then we're going to pour it on top of the green beans there. Let me turn that off. So it just turns into like a thicker paste. I'm just going to spoon this out, and then I'll spread it over, kind of get it evenly. And this little mixture doesn't look too appealing now, but it is good. Now I'll kind of spread this over now that I have it on there. All right. Now here is what they recommend is a cup. I'm going to crumble this in my hands and then sprinkle it over. I'm going to probably do about, let's see, maybe almost 2 cups. Or maybe I'll just do the whole darn can. Now this is ready to go into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. And we are baking that at 375 degrees. And it'll go in uncovered. The green bean casserole only took about 25 minutes. It's nice and green. Of course it's green. It's nice and brown, I meant to say. Holy mackerel. As you can see, I'll bring it up close. Can you see that? Hear it sizzling? I'm going to put it out here to cool a little bit until I'm ready for it. If I can get the door open with my foot! Come on, James. Help me, help me. I need to get the dining room door open. There, I got it with my foot.
Very good.
Very good?
Excellent.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, now.
Well worth the taste.
All right.
Or the wait.
The wait. Well worth the taste.
See, I don't eat, I can't think.
Was this on a scale?
8.
8. Everything's 8, or give different ratings for each?
8.
8 across the board.
I know you spent all this time cooking and preparing, but the best way to eat it is to mix it all together.
Ah, geez, he's gonna mix everything together. That's okay, folks. Hey, thanks for joining us once again. And tonight was sour cream mashed potatoes. I made red skin, not the other type that she asked. Green bean casserole with tomatoes and mozzarella cheese, and hamburger steak with onions and gravy.
Very good. Excellent. Try it.
See you later.